Medic, my buddy's dying, you need to help him. And the medic would look at the soldier and say, soldier, your arm is gone. And he'd look and he wouldn't notice that half his arm is missing. I don't know if you've read Mind-Body Prescription. That's an old book. A lot of people read it for back pain. The Mind-Body Prescription basically talks about you don't want to stop doing the painful actions, that most pain is chronic type pain after the healing has occurred. Of course, there's a window, right? 6 months. If you still have pain, then it's called chronic pain. That the body has already healed within that time period. We're sure the body is healed. Why is there still pain? The pain happens because we focus our attention on the pain. You can't have pain without attention. Do you notice that? You can't have pain without attention. There's these cases, by the way, in World War I where soldiers would drag their buddies to the medic and say, medic, my buddy's dying, you need to help him. And the medic would look at the soldier and say, soldier, your arm is gone. And he'd look and he wouldn't notice that half his arm is missing because pain requires attention. So when we over-focus on our pain, when all we pay attention to is our pain, and I'm saying here physiologically as well as psychologically, the pain becomes worse. If you have a back pain issue, it used to be, okay, well, immobilize, don't move, don't stretch, don't just, rest. And now the advice is really changing. Same with carpal tunnel. It's not, get all the wrist braces and don't move your wrists. It's the opposite. It's if you feel back pain, do whatever caused that pain 3 times because you want to regulate the brain to learn that this is not a threat. Again, emotions, pain don't happen to us. They happen for us. It's a lesson for us to learn from. It's just a signal. Now we can interpret that signal any way we want. So when we hyper-focus on something that was painful, physiologically or psychologically, when we don't do the thing that caused us discomfort, right? When we want to go to safe spaces with trigger warnings and we're not exposed to the things that make us uncomfortable, that only makes it worse and worse and worse because we're paying more attention to it and we don't have the exposure. We know the way to treat phobias. How do you treat a phobia? Exposure therapy. Right? So when someone's scared of a dog, right? When someone has severe reaction to a dog, what do? Well, first you show them a picture of a puppy. Then you show them a picture of a full-grown dog. Then you show them a video. Then eventually you put them in a room with the puppy out the other side of the room, 20 feet away. You expose them to the threat until their brain downregulates and teaches itself not to cause this reaction, this emotional reaction to this potential stressor. And so it's the same way with many of the potential discomforts in our life.
Isn't it the same way with self-belief? One of the ways that I've become confident in my life is by exposure therapy, I guess.
Yeah.
How you learn to speak on a stage is by doing it. Like there's no other, you can't read a book on it.
When I first started out, when I would get on stage, I would have incredible stage fright. At first, I would tell myself, if I was a real public speaker, I wouldn't feel this way. I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna stumble over my words. I'm gonna fall flat and people are gonna laugh at me. And I would do worse on stage. And then when I started researching, I found this technique called reimagining the trigger. And reimagining the trigger is when we take the same exact physiological reactions and we reinterpret them. So now when I go on stage and I feel my heart racing, I don't use the old script. I have a new script. The new script says, my heart is beating fast because it is pumping oxygen to my brain so I can deliver the best possible talk. That's where confidence comes from, is reframing the triggers. What used to scare you should embolden you, should strengthen you.